Welcome, friends. I'll just invite my colleagues on the stage. The subject is Cricket at Crossroads. Mr. Arshad Ayub is a former India cricketer, former president of the Hyderabad Cricket Association. Please welcome Arshad. Mr. Shivlal Yadav is a former India cricketer, former BCCI president. He will be here and he's part of us, but he won't be able to come to the stage. He's got some knee problem. Mr. Vijay Mohan Raj was part of the 1987 Ranji Trophy winning Hyderabad team. Please welcome Vijay. Mr. P. Hari Mohan is the current chairman of Hyderabad Selection Committee. Hari Mohan has written some books on cricket, so he is part of us again. I'll begin with Arshad. Arshad, you've been part of Hyderabad when the team was doing exceptionally well, gave the team so many India players. Times have changed, of course, but can you just reflect on those good old times?
Well, not only when we were playing, I think, earlier than that, if you look at it, a lot of players have played for India from Hyderabad. Right from Mr. M.L. Jaisima, Ghulam Ahmad Saab, and Abid Ali, Abbas Ali Beg. There were so many players who have played for the country during that time. And after that, we came in, Shivlal, myself, then Narasimha Rao, and then Venkatpati Raju, all these players have come in. I would say that, the main, the glory, whatever we had, it is all because of the process what we had at that time. The process was really good. We had a process where, right from the beginning, if you look at it, that, we were playing probably 25, 30 matches every year to prepare ourselves for a first-class game, Ranji trophies and all that. And nobody got a chance just like that. See, all of us had to score so many runs. I don't remember a year where we have not scored more than 500 or 600s. And I don't remember a year where we have not taken more than 100 wickets when you are called for a Ranji trophy then. Today, the process is slightly different. But then again, during that time, the players, although, I would like to say that, the talent has, there has never been a dearth of talent. The talent is always there. But if you have the right process to nurture that talent, I think, it will make a huge difference. And during that time, if you look at 1987 Ranji Trophy win, that is the only Ranji Trophy win we have from Hyderabad, post-independence, if you look at it. Before that, there was one, I believe, in 1938. But this particular victory was so sweet that, after so many years, almost 49 years, we have won the Ranji Trophy. Until now, we have done nothing after that. Although we have been featuring in, if you look at it, that, lots of time, Hyderabad has featured in semi-finals of Ranji Trophy. But unfortunately, after that, we have not won any Ranji Trophy. I think, as I said that, players have, although there was enough talent during that time, I also feel that there is enough talent now. Only the process is not the right thing. And things what happened during that 1987. Throughout the year, if you look at all the matches, Hyderabad played brilliantly. Hyderabad played brilliantly and everyone contributed. Everyone. Each one of the players have contributed during that time and it made it happen.
I remember, I was just looking at the scores of the final. You had 174. I mean, that was a very match-saving innings in the first innings. And then Vijay Mohan Raj sealed it with the double 100. And I had friends in the Hyderabad team and Delhi team also. I was feeling bad for the Delhi team, the way Vijay Mohan Raj went about his knock. So your memories of those good old times when Hyderabad was doing really well?
Mine is a little different take on this. I've been born and brought up in Bombay. So my foundations and of cricket have happened in, the nurturing in school, college has happened in another city. It's common knowledge that in those days, Bombay used to win the Ranji Trophy. They won it 42 times. Bombay has been the Ranji champions. So the way Bombay cricket was played was different from the way it's played at that time in different parts of the country. And therefore there was so much domination over there. Now, I agree with what Arshad says is about process, because if the process is right, then you will produce results. Okay? Now, my take on that is that had the process been right, then from 1938 till now, we would have won the Ranji Trophy many more times. Now, coming to the 1987 victory, we have two of my colleagues over here, Shivlal and Arshad. I have a take on that was probably, in my opinion, administratively, the worst ever year in Hyderabad. But because of the tenacity of the players who played at that time, I would say we won the Ranji Trophy in spite of the system, not because of it. So that is my take on my memory of that particular time. Now coming to if you're going to the past, Hyderabad has produced some very fine cricketers. They have, I can recollect that when I was playing for Bombay, we played a match against Hyderabad and I think there were 7 test players playing in the 11, including Mansoor Ali Khan, Pataudi, etc. So Hyderabad has had some very fine cricketers who played for Hyderabad, and also later we have Lakshman, we have Shiv, we have Arshad, we have so many others who have given excellent service to the country. But as a team, the team wins when from the roots, that is from the schools, colleges, university, and then the senior team, the systems that nurture talent have to be right. If you go by statistics, we have to introspect whether we were right, we did some good things or we did not do good things. But statistically, I don't think we had the fortune of having the best cricketing systems existing in the state to produce players like a machine, year after year. It didn't happen. Today, I mean, I thought the topic was cricket at the crossroads. I think the crossroad was in 1987. When we won the Ranji Trophy, we won the Irani Trophy. And that was the time to gear up and work on taking the next step. Unfortunately, it did not happen. Because if we had taken the next step from there and learned on what we can do better than what we have done, probably we would have won the Ranji Trophy many more times after 1987. It did not happen. So I feel that today's scenario is unfortunately, cricket in Hyderabad is in the pits. It's very bad. And now the advantage of this situation is that from now on we can build a system which is the correct system to nurture younger players and bring them to an international level. We have an excellent opportunity that from now on all of us get together, we introspect, and especially those cricketers who have played for the country, who have the cricketing acumen, who have the experience should get together today and start working on a system, create a system that will nurture the game, the players in coming forward. I think this is, you could say in adversity there is an advantage. And the advantage today is that there's no excess baggage now. We have to build from here. And I think that's what's, I've been involved from the last 4 to 5 months in that process. And I'm very positive that we will come good in the next, very soon, maybe in the next 2-3 years. We will definitely come good.
Hari, you were part of that legacy. I mean, you knew Mr. Jaisima and Beg and all very personally, and then being part of the team in '87, that was your debut year. So, how much of it can you bring forward?
So it's interesting when Vijay talks about adversity, right? And that being possibly one of the worst years administratively. So I'm not no one to comment on the administration at that time. But it was interesting because there was a players panel formed on that year. There were a lot of senior cricketers who felt they had a point to prove. So either you're driven by passion or you're driven by wanting to prove a point. So there were a lot of senior cricketers who really wanted to prove a point. They got together. It was a good mix of people, seniors, youngsters, a lot of experience coming into it. So you realize that a lot of factors had come in and there was seriously one purpose, and which drove the entire team. Of course, we had good leadership, and Shiv was there, Arshad, Tony, all of these people, Azim, all of them guiding us. But then the question always remains, why haven't we not been able to replicate it? And I was having a chat with Bobby Narasimha Rao, who was the captain then, and I asked him the same question, several years later, of course, because in retrospect, a lot of wisdom comes to us. So Bobby said something very interesting, and he said what I think both Arshad and Vijay have said, that whatever we had got together, all the elements that we got together that year, we kind of let loose. So several of the youngsters fell off, maybe some of the seniors also fell off, because whatever came together was not nurtured. And if it had been nurtured, if the process had been brought in then certainly we could have won the Ranji Trophy because there's absolutely no doubt on this that we have enough talent. Never has been doubt. It's just that are we getting the right elements together, right? So I believe process is about getting the right leadership, and the right leadership is very important because they continuously guide us. The right people in all the right places, right? Setting the right processes. And I think the moment everybody is accountable, pretty much everything falls into place. And accountability is about results. Results haven't been great, so when the results aren't so good, we have to look back and figure out what to fix in the process. So currently there is fixing of the process going on, and hopefully we will obviously be judged by the results that follow.
Arshad, how much of fixing of the process has to be done? Because you have seen it happening from inside and from outside, where Hyderabad became almost a laughing stock, losing to unknown teams and struggling to stay in that league. At one point, a couple of seasons ago, the team was all out for 27. So, how do you look at it?
Vijay, here, let me go back to, when last I was the president, 14 to 16, we had a process, and I asked Narasimha Rao to come in from Ireland, and I asked him to take over the academy. And we set up a process then. And we were not figuring it out in the knockouts itself. We were absolutely, second or from the last or third from the last. We were doing that. And then when we started our academy, I think Narasimha Rao actually set it up really well. And what happened was that at that particular time, then we started our process of, taking those 30 cricketers who have been doing well for Hyderabad, and we put them through the process. And we had a long camps, and we had long runs and physical fitness and everything. The result was that we also hired a coach from outside. Bharat Arun was a coach at the time. And what happened was that we went to quarterfinals. And that was a great process. We played so many matches. I think we played 5,500 matches during that time. And that particular year, everything, we had our under 19, our under 16, our 22, every team did really well. Then, the changeover of the thing. Then I had to step down after the Lodha thing, and then other people took over, and they abandoned the academy. There was no academy then. So I think, these things, if somebody is coming because, somebody established something, somebody is putting down something, that actually, affects the whole issue. And the process has to be right. As I said, that, there are no bad intentions here from anyone. I feel that everybody has got some good intention. There are only bad ideas. If you implement bad idea, then, you get to the end result will be bad. So I think, the idea should be really good, practical, and it should be processed properly. And if it is there, then I'm sure that, the future is very bright for Hyderabad. Because as I said, that there is no dearth of talent as such. Talent, there is tremendous talent. Only thing is that, how you nurture it properly. If you're going to have a, academy of 100 people, then you can hardly find anybody, getting the right attention. You need to have selective people, selective boys who have done really well for Hyderabad and has got real talent. You can nurture them properly. So that is something which we need to identify, we need to put in place, and we need to work towards that. See, if you look at it, that I will give an example of last year. Last year, every team had so many players playing. Every match, there was a change of 4 or 5 players. And how is that, it's going to be possible for us to sustain that? So now all those players who have played during that time are in the camps. And that camps are of those people who are not good enough. So I think, we needed to, I'm not saying anyone has taken a bad decision here, but the point is that the process was bad earlier, and because of that, those people are finding themselves in these, academies and all that. So I felt that, right people, right jobs, right selections and all that will make a huge difference.
Vijay, you have a very important role now in the academy, and so what do you have in mind? I mean, what kind of changes do you look at in terms of infrastructure, providing the facilities to young players?
Like Arshad has just said, the process has to be right, and the right people have to be at the right place. So if you want to win, then the best people should play for you. The best people will play for you only if the right people select you. And the right people who are selectors have to have the backing of the administration. So that means the thought process has to be towards winning a competition. It should not be of only giving an opportunity for certain people to represent the state. I know it sounds very cheap for me to say this, but a lot of our energy is spent on making people play for the state. I personally feel that if we are honest with ourselves and we are making the right, and we have to make the right decision, then the direction has to be only one way. The best people have to be involved with the sport. In sport, the margin of error is very less. And today, with the evolution of the game in all the 32 states that represent BCCI. Today, Saurashtra, which was the last state in the West Zone, wins the Ranji Trophy a couple of times. So it's all changed now. The equations have changed. So they are all working towards success, towards making the best people come and represent the state. If the best people represent the state, then obviously the country, the best team will also come and represent the country. So in short, what I'm trying to get across is that in the academy that I have now I've taken charge since the last 4 months, I am striving to make the system conducive to the fact that the best people come in and play. And I totally agree with Arshad that you can only nurture talent if you have able to give them quality. And you can only give quality if you have a limited number of people with whom you focus on. At one time, you cannot focus on a large number, hoping, especially when you're going in for a competition, hoping that somebody will come good from here. You have to be decisive. You have to pick those, in your opinion, honest opinion, that you've got these are the best people I think are going to be playing for the state this year. And I think you've got to focus on that and then go for a competition. If we follow this method across the board, I'm sure that we will come out with a system that will keep on nurturing talent, keep on producing winners time and time. Now please remember, individual sportsmen, especially people like Shivlal, Arshad, and many people who played for the country, let me tell you that they were so talented that they could play for the country in spite of the fact that they did not get the best inputs. I can tell you that because I, being a coach, I personally feel that when I played my cricket, I did not know anything what I know today. And I'm sure all these people who were so talented, had they been given the same inputs that today's cricketers are getting, I'm telling you, they would have been far, far better than what they were at that time. So I will compliment the people of the yesteryears, the people who played for the country, the talent that we have been able to produce in the past, that they came in and played in spite of the system, not having the best solutions to sportsmen which we have today.
Selections, because 87 good selection, they won the Ranji Trophy. You were a selector earlier also, and now you are back as a chairman. So how are you going to tackle this? Last season we were told 28 players represented Hyderabad at different
it's
during
37.
one season. What, 28, 26, whatever?
No, it's 37. So 37 players represented.
Yeah, so how are you going to tackle
formats.
this? Because this is a very major issue, and that's why they've probably given the assignment to you. They expect you to deliver. So how are you? Is it a very, very difficult job you're going to face, or tougher than your fast bowling role in the Hyderabad team?
Yeah, definitely tougher than fast bowling. Yeah, we are transitioning, right? I'm no one to comment on the processes that happened earlier, but definitely what we figured out is consistency in the selection process. Consistency, staying with the kind of people we pick, having a clear vision. All of these help. There's no point being inconsistent in the selection process. Right now, we are looking at a largish pool. If you look at it, I mean, we can't suddenly transition from and go very hard at the whole process because there are players who played, who performed in the earlier parts. We also have a large pool which has not been covered yet, where I think there's a large talent pool, which is the districts part. So now, thanks to the new administration, we now also have a districts team. We have several districts teams in the B division. We're trying to bring in people. We'll look at more ways to actually see whether there's a lot more talent coming out of those. So there's an interesting story of one boy I've met in the B division. He bowls a very short run up, bowling in one selection match, and he bowls well. And you're asking him, how come you bowl from this short run up? He says, he has a small farm, and he says, in my farm, we bowl in the farm. And this is the only space I have to bowl. This is my run-up. I mean, my run-up is limited because my area is that much, right? So you have several such stories, and there are 5 or 6 of them who are looking good to go into the under-23s. So now what we are looking at is bringing in more consistency, bringing in more more rigor in the selection practice itself. This whole idea of giving a chance, let's give him a chance, should go out, and only those who are very elite performers consistently over a period of time have to play. And this has been communicated to the players as well. The idea is to be compassionate to all players and their goals, because everybody is putting in their efforts. And to me, compassion is not making it soft for them. Compassion is making it hard for them so they become stronger. So that has also been conveyed to them, that if results are not there, you're not scoring, you're not taking wickets, you have to go back to process. And you all have a longest shelf life today. And you can come back next year. But don't expect us to make it easy. Don't expect us to carry us on your shoulder. So this is the vision. This is what we are communicating also. And there is enough rigor in the selection process. So we'll hopefully get there. And I always admire Bombay and Bombay selection because when I see Arjun Tendulkar playing for Goa, you know that Bombay selectors are not going to be influenced by anything, not by pedigree, not by legacy, not by anything. And I'd love to get there.
Arshad, final round of questions. How do you look at things ahead? I mean, what do you expect Hyderabad to do this season or maybe the next one? What kind of changes do you visualize or you would want to happen?
The foremost is that, as I earlier said, that, let us start the right process first. When you have the right process, then, the end result normally will be good. And we have to have that process going on. And see, the selection process is such that that's where the whole problem starts. You need to, even if you find, say, about 75 players who are competing to be in the Ranji Trophy, give them a chance in trial games. Let them have a trial game. Let them play, all of them play at least 3, 4 matches. Let them, play against better competition. And see that, out of that, how many are going to come up with better performances and consistent performances. Those are the things which I think, will make much better. You need to expose them. Let it be anyone who has performed, to a level of, certain amount of consistency. Let him get a chance. You give him a chance and see that, only the performance will count. Ultimately, only the performance will count. Give him a chance and see that, how he's going to perform in different scenarios. And then pick the best from there. One process is that. The other process is that those who have been picked, put them in the academy. And then, go through with them through a complete process with them also. Right from your physical fitness to your skill levels, everything you have to go through with them. And make them understand, today if you look at that, if you look at a player, skill-wise, he might be here. But mentally, he might be here. So how do you raise his mental bar? You have to raise his mental bar also. So that has to be worked out. So what we need to do is that it has to be an overall development of those players. And the remaining ones, they can compete again. They can go back to the basics and then, come up and perform really well for the next time. So there has to be a continuous process for this. And then if you have some talented players out after that 30 players, form a different group. Form a different group and give them a different kind of, opportunity. Make them play, but maybe you have got state B teams who can play. Expose them against them. So that, they also get an opportunity. They'll be ready for the next year. They'll be ready for, competing again with the best of the lot. So I think, if these processes corrected and done, I think we will definitely have some future for Hyderabad. And as Vijay said earlier, that, continuity has to be there. There has to be a continuity. If there is no continuity, then I don't think, every time the process will fail. And then, again, you're trying to, collect the things, which is not right. I think some things has to be in place and it has to continue. Look at, Karnataka, if you look at that. They have an academy going for such a long time, and now they have been producing cricketers all the time. So we need to have some kind of a base where, we have to produce those cricketers which are required for the state level as for the country. Once you have got a good players in the state level, automatically they will perform and they themselves will represent for the country. So we need to go through a really good process and robust process where, we don't, lean into influences. And then probably that is the time that, things will start looking really good for Hyderabad.
So Vijay, the onus is on you now. Good academy to produce good players.
Yeah, that's right. The onus is definitely on me right now. And I have to put my actions where my mouth is. Now I have to do that. But yes, I have taken over at a time when things are not very much organized. We are in a transition period, and with the help of the administration and their faith in me, I'm trying to implement a few things, which I think will happen eventually. But like Arshad said, and I said earlier, there has to be continuity. We can't be changing the gears when we have to be at top gear at the time when the competition is there. I have certain views. Those views may be debatable. They may be contrary to many other people. I think we should be discussing those and coming to some kind of thing. Arshad just mentioned Karnataka. I mentioned Bombay. And they follow a little different system from what we follow. Because we are fortunate enough that we start our season in the month of June. And in Bombay, they start the season in the month of September, October. You are aware of that, Vijay. So there is no cricket that happens before that. And then there is state competition. So what they follow is different from what we follow. So we have certain positives which we have to utilize in order to ensure that we get the best talent. But one thing that strikes me all the time is that the best months of cricket is October to March, actually. The best season is from October to March. What I have noticed over the years is, for various reasons, I'm not going to get into that, we actually finish our local cricket in the month of October, November. And then from November to March, it's only the state teams play. This game has to be enjoyed by the lowest level, that is the people who play for the club. The clubs are very, very important. If we are able to make the cricket in the clubs more enjoyable, more competitive, in the long run, we will be able to get better talent. What is happening is, once the state teams are selected, then the interest in the clubs starts waning. And they don't, there have been times when I remember the clubs couldn't field 11, complete 11, after the state teams were selected. So we have to debate on how we are going to work on the academy, how we are going to work on our cricket as a whole. Because it's not that the academy is separate and the rest of the cricket is separate. It's not like that. It's all linked with each other. So we have to work on creating a system which will happen. It's not happened as yet, but I'm sure it will happen over a period of time.
So Hari, do you promise the Hyderabad cricket fans a good cricket squad to be picked on merit? And how tough are you going to be with the process? Because the biggest pressure comes on the selectors to push. All these clubs will push one of their players to play. So how will it be different this time?
So absolutely. I mean, we will be picking, and there will be absolutely no compromise on that. Primarily because, see, the purpose has to be very clear, that we have to pick up teams that have to win. And once we're clear about our purpose, that our teams have to win, very clearly it is about picking the best people in the fray. Right? So our purpose is very clear. The vision is to pick up teams to win, and we are looking to win. We're putting the past aside. We're only focusing on the future and the present. So the process automatically, the how of the process becomes clear to us because our purpose is there. Now when you talk about, so the next part also becomes evident that we need to build trust. Right now, I think the whole thing is about trust building right now. And if the teams are performing well or not performing well, I think it only reflects a lot on the administration. If administratively we are disorganized or maybe perhaps even dishonest, it will affect the way the team is. So the teams reflect.
Can we just check if he's... Huh?
He's left.
Oh, okay. Because I just wanted to ask Shiv, if he could say something on what he expects. And so finally, I'll have to ask you this question is, we have had a lot of players who have come and played for India from Hyderabad. So if you can say something about each of you on this new talent called Tilak Verma, who's supposed to be absolutely stunning as a cricketer. And all of them are talking about him in the long run. He'll play for cricket for long. So each of you, if you can just tell us a word about Tilak Verma and where do you place him in today's cricket?
Tilak is a great talent, actually. The way he is, especially, adapted in 2020, the way he has played in IPL, I think it was I could see the great change in him. Suddenly, he started being aggressive, and aggressive with a purpose. Not just, playing grass shot. He's playing with a purpose now. And that goes to show that the mental maturity what he has. And he has got a right balance of everything on his shoulders. I think how to win the matches. So these are the traits of a champion cricketer. So he has got it in him. I'm hoping that, in the future he'll make all those things work.
Vijay, if you can add to it.
Well, I agree with Arshad on Tilak Verma, whatever he said. I would also add Siraj to the same category because these are extraordinary, highly skilled, talented individuals who have. But most important, what you are seeing between these people is that their mental strength is very good. They are very, very strong mentally. So that's how they've been able to adapt themselves to different situations. And if you see the background from where they come, I think they've done extremely well, especially Siraj. He's really adapted himself extremely well. So if you were asking me what I would do at the academy is, any high performance athlete, a high performance player, I think 70% is mental strength. 30% would be the other things, ability. Once he reaches that level, he has to be mentally very strong. So what we are now, since I have taken over, we are working in the academy is, we do a program on mental strength at least once a week. We try and explain to the students what is actually required of them, and which I think is the way forward. Like I said, we all evolve over a period of time. We learn new things, and then what we learn and what we can impart to the next generation is very important. So this is how I think it is, and I can assure you all that what I have seen talent in the last 4 to 5 months at the academy, I can tell you that the new lot which will come in from the under 23 and the 19 is going to be excellent. So I see a good future for Hyderabad cricket, and we hope that we are able to consistently keep at it and be able to nurture them for a longer period of time.
Final word, Hari.
On Tilak Verma, Tilak and Siraj, both of course coming out of a place where the team hasn't done well, but they've done extremely well. So it indicates very clearly, of course, their mental strength. They're both learners. They both adapt. I think each game they try to learn more. So very humble, very aware of their strengths and weaknesses. good leadership thought. So extremely good, and both of them are doing extremely well, and I'm sure great futures ahead for both of them.
You want to say?
Yeah. With regard to Siraj, I was going to say that when Tony mentioned here, Siraj, when he started playing cricket for the leagues actually, and before that he used to play tennis ball cricket. He used to come from a background where hardly people used to understand that he used to skip. When we selected him in the academy, he used to skip practice sessions. So when I called him and I asked him what's going on, he said, somebody told me that, he had to run the house and he gets 1,000 rupees a match to play that 2020 tennis ball matches, those, hardball matches he used to play. We brought him actually, at that point of time, we brought him right from there. We have put him in the selection process where he performed well and straight away played under 22 on that, and he performed in under 22. The same year, he got selected for Ranji Trophy. He played last match of the Ranji Trophy that year. But the next year was completely changeover. When Bharat took over, he completely changed over, got 48 wickets in the Ranji Trophy. Has done, he never looked back. So that kind of a mental ability he had. He came from a background, rough background, but he had that kind of a mental ability. He adapted so well, and he continued with that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. I hope Hyderabad cricket recovers its glory. They hope the right people listen to what you have told them. So thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for an insightful session on the legacy of cricket in Hyderabad. I now request Mr. Vijay Lokapally to present our guests with a token of appreciation.